The other thing about the A clamp is that you'll notice it has this deep pressing. That is there to give that great strength, but it also means that you can get into places where you would not be able to with any other clamp. If you needed to get into a tight spot like that, you can. In this example, where a lipping needs to be applied, we've got a chair frame which doesn't have parallel sides, so clamping from side to side is not an option. But with the A clamp, it's not a problem. You can offer it up, apply the pressure, your lipping will be held whilst it sets, and you can work right up to a corner so that you can get the pressure right on the end, just where you need it. In this example, I'm applying a moulding onto the face of a panel. It's easily done with the A clamps because you can safely apply them right up to the corners. You can clamp that, as you can see it's mitred. You need to get pressure right at that point, and there's absolutely no danger of leaving any marks. This is another example of where you need to apply a moulding onto an edge. This is a melamine face board and this is a timber moulding. Normally, if you're doing this sort of thing, you might be, for instance, doing it for a kitchen cabinet corner unit. As this is 18mm, I'll be putting the compression pads over the mouth of the clamp. Get it into position, push forward. Lift my compression pad out, get it into position, push, get the last piece, compression pad over the mouth, and push forward. Now I can get it right up to the point where the two pieces are meeting and get the pressure exactly where I want it. Now that's a tricky operation by other means, because if you haven't got a parallel side you can't use a standard clamp, whereas these, of course, you don't need anything like that, and the grip of the tips allow you to apply the pressure but not leave any marks. In this example, this has got a rebated moulding onto a panel, and because the A clamp is applying pressure in 3 different points, then you can do that all in one go. I can put the clamp on with the compression pad over the mouth, or I can put it so that it's over the spring. On this example we've got a radius moulding, but in both positions it'll work well and it will apply that rebated moulding more easily than by any other method. For this next example, which is mitre clamping with the A clamps accessory web belt, you need to remove the compression pad and the tips. Now the tips have to be pushed off at an angle. As you can see, the actual tip of the clamp has barbs on it to make sure that the tip will stay in place when it's pushed on there straight. I also need to move the spring from its most powerful position into the 35-pound forward position. So push it forward with a flat tip screwdriver, make sure it centres. Now those tips are introduced between the belt and the work. This is a mitred frame and I need to get the pressure right on the corner, and that will squeeze that joint up really nice and tight. A web belt will just apply pressure all the way around the work, but it doesn't actually squeeze the mitres together exactly as you want them. But with the A-clamp and the tips in place, you just go round each corner applying the clamp, and each time you apply the clamp it squeezes that corner up nice and tightly. It really is a most effective mitre clamping method. It'll not only do 45-degree cuts, but for instance a shape like this. But of course if you've got any other angle, this method still applies.